Hi, this is Isabelle Litzler, the place to be to develop your skills and grow your potential. So today I'm making a short video about a book that I just read called The Great Reset. I strongly suggest that you check it out. It's available online, so I posted the link below. It's available in different formats. But what's interesting in this book is that it gives you a little bit of an idea of where the world is going post-pandemic or in the future, basically. So definitely I think it's a great book to read, so encourage you to check it out. What I want to share with you now is some of the trends that I thought were interesting that are mentioned in the book. So the first trend, that's something that's not new to you, but I'm still mentioning it. It's the fact that everything is going online, and even more so since I would say the beginning of the pandemic, so about last 18 months. So you see a lot of jobs now going online. So the reason why I'm mentioning this is that it's giving you some food for thought. If right now you have a job and it's not necessarily fully online yet, but maybe there's a risk that it will be, to take a little bit the lead in getting your skills ready, taking maybe some courses, and I'm sharing with you some courses below. It's digital skills. So you can maybe take a course so that you're prepared for the changes that are happening fast. And if you're still in the economy of the in-person economy, so meaning hotels, restaurants, shops, anything where people trade in person, you have a job until you don't have a job. A lot of it is becoming more and more automated. So don't wait until the last minute. Invest in yourself, invest in your career, and learn those skills. So that's number one, is the heavy digitalization. World is going online, and you need to hop on that bus. Number two, government involvement in the private sector. A lot of companies had to get some support during the last 18 months, so they received a lot of benefits to keep afloat, basically, and to stay in business. So there will be also a trading. I mean, usually when you have involvement from someone that's providing some support, there's going to be more involvement. So it could take the form of different things, and you can read about that in the book if you want. But what that means for you as an individual is that, who knows, maybe there will be less hiring, because now private sector will have to spend more money on providing more benefits to employees, or they will have more stringent rules. I mean, we see already now all the investments companies have to make to respect all the rules, and it's a huge investment. So if you invest all this money in maybe some having less people inside the shop and maybe security and all these things, then you invest less in hiring staff, or maybe you need less staff. So it has an impact, a little bit linked to what I said, the in-person economy. Even though they're still open, they're open with rules, and it means that for you there might be less jobs to find. Number three, more social welfare for the gig workers. So because these people were really affected during the pandemic and didn't necessarily have the benefits, so maybe in the future there will be also, it goes with the government involvement that came to support private sector. So in the future there might be also more rules to provide benefits for people who work with you on a temporary basis. Again, I think it's changing also maybe the notion of being a freelancer, because typically as a freelancer you're not submissive. That's really the legal term, actually, to the organization. That's really what defines a full-time permanent worker. But if you're a freelancer or you're working on a on-demand type of services, usually you're not necessarily working entirely submissive to this company. Maybe you're working for different companies already. So there's the whole legal structure that might change. We will probably see some shifting in the type of contracts and how you work with, how you contract with organizations. The other trend that's popping up is the huge innovation for the green economy. So you see already probably a lot about the environment and keeping the planet clean, and the renewals. So everything has to be renewed and saved. So you won't be able to maybe live and consume the same way that you're used to, but that can also provide some new jobs that you didn't think about. I just heard somebody say in one of my workshops, it was a business with seeds and growing plants from your house or from your apartment. This is something very new. Never heard of it before when I was, in the last 20 or 30 years, to grow food inside your apartment. But why not? I mean, again, this is all about becoming maybe more autonomous. People will want to have maybe the possibility to have green gardens inside their private house or apartment. So this creates also new potential business ideas and innovation. So this is also point number 4. Number 5, there's definitely a huge power shift almost, where before you had a lot of small and medium-sized business. So you always had the large international businesses, and then typically you would have the small, medium size, and then you would have the micro, really the really small organizations. What you see is really almost it's squash now, where the small and medium sized business really have to work on being relevant, because the super big businesses are really eating up all the economy. And now you may have a shift where there's only maybe 10 super large companies that everyone is buying from, and the small medium-sized business really have a hard time competing. So the power shift also going online is very different. So it's whoever is the most visible and that people know very well, and they will keep ordering there, and maybe the smaller shops won't have that visibility. So definitely going for maybe fewer businesses, larger businesses that dominate the marketplace. So I won't mention the name, but I think everyone knows the ones that we have already right now that's really dominant already. How are we having a little bit of the power balance there, where there's also a place for the smaller businesses that may have something interesting to say or to sell. Finally, the 3 different trends in terms of where are the jobs going. So towards the end of the book, he really mentions 3 sectors. So the first one is big tech. So it's a little bit linked to what I said, the big digital businesses, dominant in the market, and it's going to be more and more the case. So the tech jobs are really winning here. So if you master, all the different technologies, IT, machine learning, artificial intelligence, this is really the skills that are needing, project management online. So if you're there, great. If you're not, this is definitely a huge development there in terms of where the jobs are. And second part where the jobs are, second trend is health. Growth of pharma, growth of anything related to taking care of your health. So I've seen actually a lot of recently, so there's the health in terms of pharma, but there's also all the health linked to taking care of yourself with plants, with nutrition and all these things. So people are looking for those supplements. So that's the second trend I've seen a lot actually in the last months, is selling supplements online. So maybe people are not wanting to purchase medication, maybe they're also trying the natural way. So anything linked to making your health better, and that's also linked to exercise and taking care of yourself, which is actually bringing me to the third trend, which is health and well-being. So again, trend number 1, tech. Trend number 2 is taking care of yourself health-wise. And number 3 is well-being in terms of mental well-being. I've also seen a lot in this area as well. A lot of coaches, a lot of tools and books and all kinds of things to help you with well-being. I mean, people have been really shocked in the last 18 months. So there's a huge demand for individuals who can help with the balance, again, taking care of yourself, exercise, online training to take care of yourself and to take care of your health. So the whole area of well-being. So how do you take care of yourself when things are completely shifted and maybe you're put under pressure? So well-being in terms of managing depression, managing mental health, especially. Again, I'm putting a big thing on that. That's a huge need. So there will be some solutions, and for those of you who are thinking about where should I start a business, so you can use these 3 trends as a resource to maybe starting something around there, because there will be a need. And I will close with the last thing I saw in the book that was interesting is nature is at the center of everything. So this is definitely something we've paid close attention to in the last years, where we were really aware that we need to take better care of the environment, and we are going in the wrong path in terms of how we live. So definitely putting nature in the center means that things maybe that are still allowed right now won't be in the future, because it's damaging to the environment, to how we pollute the soils and the water and everything. So that also ideas for innovation and startups maybe is how do you take care of nature, solutions around preserving the environment, and also how does this affect us, in terms of how we live, how we consume, and try to forecast also maybe being in line with this, because otherwise we may not be prepared. So for example, if you have a heavily polluting car, just be sure that you won't be able to drive it in the future. That's just for sure. So this is really what I want you to, the kind of connections I want you to make, is to look at those trends and see how that's going to affect you. And once you know how it's going to affect you, what do you do about it right now, so that your back is not against the wall when you're told that's it, so to prepare and be ready for those changes. So if you have any comments based on the video, maybe you read the book or you will read the book and you want to go further, I'd be happy to do so. Feel free to comment below. As usual, take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you soon.